What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about something kind of disturbing, kind of funny in a way, and go over it. So what we have here is an AI editor job, and there's a bunch of stuff going on, okay? The gaming journalist industry, as we've talked about in the past on this channel, well, I don't, number one, think it's all that good, and number two, I think it's kind of collapsing. Now, the first one, definitely more subjective, and you definitely don't have to agree with me there. Second one, I think the collapse thing is kind of obvious. You see a lot of sites firing people, whether it's because of an upcoming recession or whether it's they just never made money really in the first place or whatever it is. Obviously, there are changes. There's a lot of changes in how people cover games at these, the classic IGNs and Kotakus. I don't know if you want to put those in the same category, but, they are having some trouble, a lot of trouble. So what we have here is this is kind of the parent company of multiple gaming sites, which includes like Destructoid, also includes the Mary Sue, which I didn't see that in the list originally. So this has all sorts of different publications on it, ranging from kind of gaming coverage to pop culture, whatever you would want to call it. And what you need to know about this is they had fired, I believe, a bunch of editors and writers back in March, I think is what's going around. So this company had just, laid off people. This is kind of the sad, harsh reality of the situation. Then it kind of gets a little funny, maybe also still a little bit alarming. But they fire all these people, and now they're looking for a specific person, a specific talent to be an AI editor. So you're going to be editing the AI, and what they're expecting is 200 to 250 articles a week. Now, again, a couple different ways of looking at it. Number one, I find that to be hilarious. I also find it to be hilarious that the company thinks that, obviously right now, where we're at right now, you can't just let the AI go off with zero supervision and write 200 to 250 articles a week. I think that would go horribly. That's why you need an editor for that. And also in the description, you'd be managing like fact checking, making sure the AI gets it right. You'd be doing like images and just making sure everything kind of works. So it's funny in a way that the company thinks it can even get away with this because, yes, the person, I guess, technically isn't writing the 250 articles a week, but they are certainly managing 250 articles a week, which seems to me like it would be impossible, like literally impossible. And the pay range is $40,000 to $55,000 a year. Now, I'm not going to complain about that amount. I actually think that's a pretty good amount. When it starts to look bad is when you do the math of like per article. So how many articles go into, I think it's like $4 or something an article, and it would be pretty bad. It'd be pretty awful if you kind of lower it down to, okay, how much does this AI editor get paid per one article that goes up? It's not market value, let's just say that. Again, you could argue, well, the AI is doing it for them. Now, I do find it, again, funny in a way that companies see game journalists as so replaceable that you can just have AI kind of come in and do their job. In a lot of ways, that is actually true. So that is the scary yet somewhat hilarious where, look, at the end of the day, and I've said this before, I do not want people to lose their jobs, okay? I don't want people homeless on the side of the street. People do need to wake up, though. People do need to kind of like realize their inner talent, and there's a lot of gaming sites that are just really bad. So I don't know what you want to say, right? Do you settle for mediocrity and for these sites just not doing it well? Or do you try to wake people up, or do you replace people, which does include firing people? Like that's, again, it's hard to go too deep into that, and I don't want to get too mean, but, ultimately, if you're not good for the job or you're just really, really bad, well, what do you expect to happen to you? You're going to get replaced. Maybe you wake up then and figure it out and then get hired again and make some money. I mean, ultimately, I want that for everybody, but I want quality if these people aren't going to give quality. So, that's the hilarious part of these game journalists. We're getting to the end. I actually think we're getting to the end in a different way than I thought. Like, we've talked so much about these sites closing down and firing people and kind of just, saying this is the end. And it kind of is, like, in a lot of respect, because these sites don't really make a lot of money, or people just don't go on these sites anymore. Things have kind of changed. I didn't necessarily think, like, say, 2-3 years ago, I didn't think that AI would kind of come in and just a bunch of robots would be, replacing people writing articles. But I'll tell you this, though. The scary side of it is if this really is the future, then yes, I pray the first stuff I was just talking about, wake up. Please, the Kotaku writers, please just do better, because while I don't think they're all that good, do I prefer that over just a mindless AI that's copying and pasting and all this stuff? 250 articles a week, I don't care if a robot's doing that or if a human's doing it, I think it would get rather repetitive. I think it would be kind of bland. And ultimately, like, is that what you're going on these gaming websites to do, is read 250 articles a week? And that's just from the AI who writes it. What about like the op-ed pieces and the, the more deeper dives or the ranking, articles that some other of your writers write? It's not everybody being fired, and it's also not AI doing everything. It's just doing kind of a portion of it. It sucks away what I honestly imagine. I guess this is what the Hollywood writers strike. Maybe it's what they feel. I feel like it's going to take away from just like the human nature of things. Now, again, you get a lot of bad stuff when you let humans do it. You get a lot of their own personal emotions. You end up with the Kotaku PS5 review when you don't kind of like be on these people to say, hey, why don't you do the PS5 review, and why don't you not talk about the presidential election while you're doing it? Like, can we kind of separate those things? Yes, that happens, when you let people kind of just do literally whatever and you have no oversight on them. But at the same time, if you just let a mindless AI, it could be better quality. It could absolutely be better quality. But the human, the heart side of things is just gone. And I don't know. I think people kind of want that. I think it's also, when we're talking about games and entertainment, you could maybe make this argument for anything, but because we're talking like in this field, I don't know, like, when you think about a game, don't you want to hear other people's opinions? Even if you don't like the person, even if you don't agree with the person, gaming is all about like the experience and then sharing that experience with others and critiquing it and saying, oh man, I wish this thing was different. Or when you explain it to somebody, well, I want to hear it from somebody who played it. Now, like an AI, can they play a game? I guess they technically can, right? They can take in all the information and kind of just throw it out. But I don't know, like I would prefer an IGN employee that got the game early, did the preview, whatever, and writes it. I mean, it's their experience. It's how they perceive the graphics and the gameplay and what games does it compare to and all this stuff. You let an AI do it, you're really losing that humanity. You're losing that connectiveness that I think we as gamers and in this entertainment field we're in, it's kind of what we need. Like, that's the whole point of it. The whole point is for us to, maybe things change. Maybe that's not actually, why we're all here. And maybe we are just meant for robots to like tell us these things in a very simplified manner. I think, again, like that can work in some circumstances, but I don't really think here. So again, just a quick little wake up call to all the gaming journalists. Again, first part is subjective, saying they're not really all that good. Some people could really like them. That's fine. But the fact is they are dying. Things are kind of falling apart. Even game publishers don't even respect half these game journalists anymore. I think people need to really wake up, because if they don't wake up, you're going to get replaced with robots, and we're going to really lose kind of like the soul of gaming. And I don't really want that to happen. So let's everybody just take a deep breath and let's just do better, okay? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.